Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the world of Australian 50-cent coins, and guess what? Some of these everyday coins are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. That's right, in your pocket change there might be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. In this video we'll look at the top 3 most valuable Australian 50-cent coins. Coins that collectors are hunting for and paying big money to own. We'll uncover why the 1966 round 50-1 coin is so special, how certain low mintage years like 1985 and 1993 became so rare, and the secret behind rare coins that can multiply their value. So grab your coin jar, get comfortable, and let's find out if you've been holding on to a fortune without even knowing it. But before we start, make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and click the bell icon so you never miss out on more amazing coin facts and hidden treasures. Let's get started. First up, if you've ever found a bulky, heavy 50-cent coin in a drawer and wondered whether it's worth more than pocket change, stick around. Today we're doing a full deep dive into the 1970 Australian 50-cent coin. I'll give you a clear history of why this coin exists, break down what it's made of, show you the exact design details to inspect, explain how condition affects value, and point out the specific rare varieties and airstrikes that can push a coin from face value into serious collector territory. This is a long, detailed breakdown. Take notes, and by the end you'll know whether to keep that 50C or cash it in if you want the quick answer. Most circulated 1970 50C coins sell for modest premiums, while specific mint condition or error pieces can command much higher prices. We'll show exactly how much with real market examples later. To understand the 1970 50C first, need a little history. Australia decimalized its currency in 1966 and introduced a round silver 50-cent coin, originally struck in 80% silver as part of the decimal series and special commemoratives that followed. The 50C design, celebrating Captain Cook's voyage, appears on coins issued around 1969 to 1970 and in later commemorative issues. The reverse artwork and portraits changed over the years as the mint produced different commemorative and circulating designs. The Royal Australian Mint's historical pages explain how the 50 cent has evolved and list mintages and designs across decades. That official context is important when judging rarity and collector interest. If you're inspecting a 1970 coin, these are the visual checks to make. Obverse portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, second portrait style during the era. Reverse featuring Captain Cook and a map motif depending on the specific commemorative type. The date clearly struck as 1970 and the coin's edge and shape. Note that modern 50C coin shapes changed. Dodecagonal 12-sided for later copper nickel issues, while earlier commemorative pieces could be round. Physically, mint specifications such as weight and diameter are recorded in numismatic guides. These matter when you suspect a counterfeit or an altered coin. For authoritative specifications and images to compare, see numismatic references and the NGC Numista catalog entries. One of the biggest value drivers is what the coin is made from. The earlier round 50-cent coins were struck in different metals at different times. Once silver prices rose above face value, the mint changed to copper nickel compositions for regular circulation. That change dramatically affects intrinsic metal value and collector interest. Check mint records or the Royal Australian Mint pages to confirm whether a given 1970 coin is copper nickel, typical for many circulating commemoratives, or a special silver proof collector issue. Mintage numbers, how many were produced that year, also matter. Lower mintage equals higher potential collector value, everything else equal. Condition is king. A circulated 1970 50C with noticeable wear will typically sell for only a small premium over face value or modest collector interest, while an uncirculated UNC or mint state MS example, especially one certified by a grading service, can fetch significantly more. Look for crisp details on the high points, the absence of contact marks, original luster, and consistent surfaces. If you plan to get a coin graded, reputable services to consider RPCGS and NGC population reports and price guides from those services are useful to set expectations and to find recent sold prices for similarly graded coins. Always compare the coin to images of the same grade. Grading drives a lot of the value. So what is a 1970 50C actually selling for today? Market prices vary by condition and by marketplace. Typical circulated examples frequently appear in online listings and Auctions for small PRMIUMS, for example, sellers listing circulated pieces for roughly $10 Australian dollars, $30 Australian dollars in recent online marketplaces. While well-preserved mint condition coins or certified MS coins can be priced higher, sometimes several tens to a few $100 depending on grade and demand. There are also exceptional cases, particular era coins, low mintage proofs, or special varieties can push prices much higher when confirmed by auction results. I recommend checking current price guides, NGCPCGS, and recent sold listings on major auction sites as a reality check before you list or buy. Sources used for these market trends and example listings include NGC price guide pages and recent eBay auction sale pages. Collectors pay attention to error strikes and unusual varieties. These are where a normal 50C becomes highly collectible. Examples that have sold for substantial premiums include coins with striking errors, misaligned dies, double strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet, wrong metal blanks. Australian news and collector sites have covered famous mistrike finds that reached hundreds or even thousands of dollars. When authenticated, always photograph and document any suspected error and get an expert opinion if your coin shows unusual features. Don't toss it into circulation. Get clear, high-resolution photos and seek a specialist's opinion or submit it to a grading service for authentication. If you suspect you found a high-value 1975 OC, follow these steps. 1. Don't clean the coin. Cleaning can destroy collector value. 2. Take clear photos of reverse, left, right, edge, and close-ups of any anomalies. 3. Compare with online references. NGCPCGS and the Royal Australian Mint images are great starting points for high-value suspects. Send to a reputable grading authentication service such as NGC or PCGS, or consult a respected coin shop or auction house. Certification gives buyers confidence and usually increases sale price, but grading costs money. Weigh the expected value before sending a coin away for grading. When selling, use multiple channels, online auction platforms with sold comparables, specialist coin dealers, and local coin shows. Present honest, detailed photos and disclose conditions and any provenance. If you aim for top dollar, consigning at a reputable auction house that specializes in world Australian coins can attract serious collectors, but no commissions and timescales. For smaller sales, graded coins tend to sell faster and with more beer confidence. Finally, watch for red flags from buyers. Requests to transact off-platform or pay with risky methods. Use tracked shipping and insurance for valuable items. Recent marketplace activity and sold listings give the best real-time value signals. Check them before you finalize a price. Wrap up. The 1970 Australian 50 is an interesting coin with a place in Australia's decimal history. Most examples are common in lower grades, but well-graded uncirculated proof or error pieces can be genuinely collectible and worth significantly more than face value. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I publish long numismatic deep dives and weekly marketplace updates. If you want, drop a photo of your coin in the comments or on my channel's community tab, and I'll point out the obvious things to check. For those who want more, I'll link to the Royal Australian Mint NGC's price guide entry and a few recent sold listings in the description so you can compare your coin directly to what's moving on the market. Thanks for watching and keep hunting. Next up today, we've got one of my favorite decimal era coins to dig into, the 1971 Australian 50-cent piece. If you've ever found one in a pocket or at the bottom of a jar and wondered whether it's worth more than face value, this video will walk you through everything: the coin's story, what to look for, how much it's trading for today, the rare error varieties that collectors chase, and the best ways to grade and sell yours. If you're new here, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss weekly coin deep dives. And if you like long, detailed coin videos, smash that like button now, because this one is packed with info. The Australian 50-cent coin has a short but interesting decimal era history. Australia introduced the new 50-cent dodecagonal 12-sided design in 1969 to replace the earlier round 50-cent coin. The 1971 pieces are part of that early run of dodecagonal coins that carried Stuart Devlin's coat of arms reverse and the portrait of the young Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, while the 1969 pieces and a few specific years are frequently discussed for rarity and special interest. The 1971 coin is widely collected because It sits early in the decimal period and exists in both large, circulating numbers and smaller proof runs, making it a nice bridge coin between common circulation pieces and collector's items. Background on the denomination and design. Royal Australian Mint. General references. Before we talk money, here are the basics, so you and your viewers can ID the coin at a glance. The standard circulating 50C from that era is copper nickel 75%, copper 25% nickel, 12-sided and noticeably larger than most other decimal coins. Key things to check. The date 1971. On the obverse, the sharpness of the portrait and coat of arms strike quality edge. Plain any doubling or die breaks and surface toning or contact marks. Proof examples are struck to a far higher finish and were issued in small numbers for collectors. These command a premium over typical circulation examples. Don't wipe or polish. Cleaning kills collector value. So how common is the 1971 50C? According to Numismatic Catalog, date of the mintage, for the regular 1971, -1 cent circulation strike is in the multi-million sources, list around 21 million for 1971, while separate proof strikes were produced in far smaller numbered runs. Proof sets often in the low 10,000s for years around this era. That large circulation mintage explains why a typical 1971 circulated coin is not extremely rare, but the combination of a large overall run with relatively low surviving numbers of high-grade, uncirculated or proof examples is exactly what gives hobbyists interesting collecting and valuation opportunities. In short, common in circulation, but high-grade and error proof specimens are where real collector value sits. Okay, the money question. What is a 1971 50-cent worth? Values vary by condition and rarity. On the low end, typical circulated examples often trade for only a small premium above face, think single dollar, to low teens in AUD USD. On auction sites, depending on where, uncirculated examples MS grades and certified higher grades are worth more, mid double digits to low hundreds. In many cases, depending on the exact grade. Proof coins and true mint state gems push higher. Market listings and price guides show a widespread. Casual online listings can show prices as low as $5 to 15 for circulated pieces, while higher grade or proof examples can be $50 to 200 plus or more. Always cross-check current auction results, because realized prices, what buyers actually paid, are the best indicator of value. This is the exciting bit for collectors. Error coins and unusual strikes can climb well above the standard values documented. Varieties include strike-throughs, foreign matter or grease caught under the die, incomplete strikes, and other minting anomalies. Some misstrikes and odd planchet events from the Royal Australian Mint have fetched significant premiums when authenticated. For example, highly unusual strike-throughs or major misstrikes can appear on 1971 pieces, and if genuine and eye-catching, bring hundreds or even more depending on the severity and collector interest. Keep an eye out for off-metal strikes and dramatic double strikes, but beware counterfeits and altered coins. Expert authentication and grading are essential for any premium claims. If you suspect your 1971 50C is special, don't guess, get it graded. Third-party grading firms, PCGS, NGC, etc., will authenticate and assign a grade, which often makes it easier to sell and usually increases buyer confidence. Before sending anything off, photograph the coin clearly, obverse and reverse. Note any visible abnormalities and avoid cleaning. Store coins in inert holders, flips, or capsules away from heat, humidity, and direct sunlight. For particularly valuable or rare pieces, consider professional conservation advice rather than household remedies. Grading costs money, so weigh potential upside. A common circulated coin usually isn't worth the grading fee, but a coin you suspect is mint state proof or an error often is. When you're ready to sell, your options are specialist coin dealers, auction houses, numismatic marketplaces, for example, Shops, Heritage, or general auction platforms like eBay. For common circulated 1971 coins, local dealers or direct online listings usually move them fastest. For rarities, major errors, high-grade certified pieces, auction houses and specialist dealers who reach active collectors tend to get the best prices when pricing. Present clear photos disclose any damage or cleaning and reference comparable sold listings, not just asking prices. If you want a quick sale, set a fair by now, but if you suspect rarity, a graded coin at auction may expose it to the right bidders and increase final price. For creators, shoot close-ups of obverse and reverse slow pans across the dodecagonal edge extreme, macro shots of any die errors or contact marks and side-by-side comparisons of circulated versus uncirculated examples. Suggested chapter timestamps 0 o'clock intro and hook 130, history and design for o'clock, specs and how to identify 7 o'clock, typical market values 11 o'clock, error varieties and standout examples 15 o'clock, grading and preservation 18 o'clock, where, how to sell 20 o'clock, final summary and call to action. Add pop-up text that cites price guide snapshots or auction examples showing dates, prices, to increase credibility. For atmosphere, use soft close-up, B-roll and on-screen bullet points for the technical bits. Viewers love seeing the exact features you describe. Production tips based on common coin video best practices. To wrap up, the 1971 Australian 50 cent is a lovely decimal era coin that's usually common in circulation, but becomes genuinely interesting in high grades, proofs, or when an error misstrike is present. If you own one, check condition first. Most will be modestly valuable as collectibles, but a rare error or perfect uncirculated specimen can be worth significantly more. If you enjoyed this deep dive, subscribe, hit the bell, and consider joining the channel membership for behind-the-scenes coin chats and early video releases. Members get a monthly market watch PDF and priority Q&A. Drop a comment below with the condition of your coin photos help, and I'll give a quick opinion in the pinned community post. Thanks for watching. Keep hunting those coins, and I'll see you in the next video. Next up, today we're diving deep into one of Australia's biggest and most intriguing circulating coins, the 1970 for 50 cent piece. On the face of it, this is a familiar 12-sided copper nickel coin with the Commonwealth coat of arms on the reverse and Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. But for collectors, that plain look hides a lot of interesting detail. Production numbers, condition tiers, rarities, and occasional error strikes that can turn a 50 cent piece into real money. If you love pocket change mysteries and found in your pocket success stories, smash that like button and stay tuned. I'll walk you through how to spot value, where the real money lives, and what to avoid when buying or selling. A little history: the modern 50C design with Stuart Devlin's coat of arms and the 12-sided planchet is part of Australia's decimal coinage family, introduced after 1966. By 1974, the 50 cent was firmly the large, distinctive 12-sided coin we all recognize today. The obverse portrait used that year is the youthful Arnold Machen effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, used on many Commonwealth coins of the era, while the reverse is Devlin's coat of arms, a familiar combination that collectors use to verify authenticity and date. Style for technical specs, weight, diameter, composition, and the 12-sided shape collectors usually refer to standard catalogs and grading guides when comparing coins. According to museum and mint records, about 8.96 million 50 cent coins were struck at Canberra in 1974, which makes the year common in normal circulation terms. That mintage figure explains why most 1974 pieces you find in change or at flea markets are worth close to face value unless they are in exceptional mint state or have a collectible error. Knowing the mintage gives you context. Uncommon dates or very low mintages are where you usually find the big premiums. So what does a 1974 50C actually sell for? For everyday circulated pieces, you'll usually see values around face value up to a few Australian dollars. They're common collector grade and circulated pieces. MS60, MS64 range push the price higher. Price guides and market listings typically show uncirculated examples in the tens of Australian dollars, depending on exact grade, and I appeal high museum quality uncirculated grades or certified high-grade examples. MS65 Plus are rarer and can command higher sums, sometimes dozens of dollars or more, but they're not generally hundreds unless there's something special like a notable error or exceptional luster. For current grade by grade ranges, price guides such as Coins and Australia and NGC's World Price pages are good references. Here's where the money can appear: overnight error coins and striking varieties, off-center strikes, double strikes, clipped blankets, and other minting mistakes are where collectors pay significant premiums. And off-center 1974 that's dramatic and attractive can be worth many times the normal uncirculated price. Specialist dealers and auction houses and even listings from numismatic sellers show error examples selling well above standard uncirculated prices. For example, dedicated coin sellers and auction listings occasionally offer 1974 pieces with off-center strikes and other defects that move their value substantially above the common. Examples always document and, when possible, certify such pieces before trying to sell. People often ask about little details that can cause wild swings: die cracks, repunched mint marks, or tiny striking details that some online videos call the $50,000 error. In reality, most small die varieties or minor die breaks at only modest premiums unless they're well documented, dramatic, and authenticated. Also, be careful with circulated coins that merely look nice. High appeal helps but won't make a common mintage into a rarer date. If you hear claims of very large values for a 1974 50C, ask for provenance certification and comparables, otherwise treat the claim cautiously. Several recent media pieces and collector guides have highlighted how a tiny detail can multiply a coin's price, but those stories are the exception, not the rule. If you want to know how to grade a 1974 50C at home, start with basic factors: overall wear, luster, contact marks on the high points, especially the coat of arms and the Queen's portrait, and edge condition. Use a loupe 10 times to inspect for hairlines, micro scratches, or post-mint damage. Buyers will care most about eye appeal, cleaning, abrasion which destroys value, and whether the coin was handled or was in a roll pack. For anything that might be an error or very high grade, get a professional certification, NGCPCGS, or a trusted local numismatic service. Certification often increases beer confidence and market value. See standard grading tables in modern price guides for approximate dollar bands by grade. Thinking of selling? For everyday circulated coins, local classifieds, or eBay are fine. Expect to get near face value to small multiples depending on condition. For uncirculated or potentially error coins, use specialist auction houses, numismatic marketplaces, or certified dealer networks. Those channels reach collectors who will pay top dollar. Always take clear photos, obverse reverse close-ups of any errors. Write honest condition notes, and if a coin is graded, include the certification number. And beware of buyers promising huge money without evidence. Ask for comparables and recent sale prices. Refer to recent sold listings on auction platforms to set realistic expectations. You asked about in your brief. That phrase isn't a standard numismatic term for Australian 50C coins. A few possible interpretations: you may mean 40 million mintage 1974 is actually approximately 8.96 million, so not 40 million. You might mean a mint mark variant. Australian circulation coins from Royal Australian Mint typically don't use separate mint marks like US coins, or you might have meant or as part of a separate topic. If you meant 40 million mintage, then that's not correct. For 1974, the authoritative museum mint record lists roughly 8.96 million for Canberra 1974 strikes. If you meant something else, treat this paragraph as a heads up. Always check what the user, seller, means by unusual shorthand before paying a premium. Alright, coin collectors, quick recap: the 1970 for Australian 50C is a common but rewarding date to hunt. Most pieces are worth face value unless uncirculated or error. Mintage was approximately 8.96 -1, so common and real value shows up with high grades or dramatic minting errors. If you want more deep dives like this condition walkthroughs, how to photograph coins, and live grading sessions, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and drop a comment. Tell me if you want a full episode on grading errors or a marketplace walkthrough where I price 3 real coins live. If you found a 1974 in your pocket and want me to value it on camera, snap good photos and send them in the comments. I'll pick the best ones for a future episode. Thanks for watching, and keep checking those pockets. The next valuable coin might be jingling in yours.